Yeah, so inorganic in this quarter has been around 40 basis points within our 2.6% that we reported. And for the full year also, it will be similar number.
Then back on the sort of economy, we talked about it last quarter and also in addressing it today. There are overall changes in the economic environment, and we mentioned last quarter, we share that again. We see some of that impact, for example, in logistics. We see some in consumer products and some in manufacturing. But equally, we have seen benefits, especially because we've seen good traction with the work we're doing with agents in AI, and a benefit from consolidation that we've looked at, that the clients have looked at us and been positive. And that has given us some of the positive growth that we've seen in this quarter.
Would you call it a turnaround? Given the perhaps one of the best performing among that group, would you call it a turnaround? This is an exceptional quarter because you've got the benefit of the acquisitions also flowing in, and you're still uncertain about the demand environment.
So there on the acquisition, as Jay shared, it's a small part of it. Even if you keep that aside, we are well over 2%, 2.2 in terms of constant currency growth in the quarter. The way I would look at it is it's very differentiated performance because we have what we believe to be one of the best ways that we are deploying AI, enterprise AI, into our clients. So these are active projects where we are using agents, different types of agents that clients are leveraging, whether it's in their supply chains, in their customer experience, where they're getting productivity benefits, where they're getting improved customer service. That's one aspect of it. And the other aspect is we are seeing clients are selecting us more and more when they're looking at consolidation, because inherently we see clients see Infosys's delivery as very strong and stable, and also providing new ideas, especially on AI, for improvements into the business. So that's the differentiated performance that we are seeing in the way that we see it. Hiring.
So if you look at our hiring numbers, our overall headcount has remained constant at this point in time. Our utilization is at its peak at 85%. So we will continue hiring, and we expect to continue hiring in line with what we've announced at the beginning of the year. There's no change there.
Thank you, Ritu. The next question is from Haripriya Suresh from Reuters News.
Good evening, gentlemen. One quick, I wanted to understand, America has growth has been sort of flattish, but Europe has done really well. Just some color on the specific markets. Is Europe client specific? What is happening on that end? And, in terms of the employee headcount, like you mentioned, I know it's been flat, but I know there's a lot of talk about how Infosys is using AI. Do you see, if utilization's at its peak, do you see productivity increasing where you don't need to hire as much going forward? And will this sort of be the level that we will see it at? And I wanted to get some color on what the wage hike scenario will be for this quarter as well. Thank you.
So coming to your second question on headcount, as I said earlier, headcount has remained flat. Despite that, we've been able to deliver 2.5%, 2.6% on growth. Large part of that came from the RPP increase or the pricing increase that we got and the seasonality benefit that we got. 40 bips came from the acquisition, and the balance came from the volume increases, which we've been able to manage within our current headcount through utilization. Now that we are at a peak, any further volume increase will need to be, we do need to come from the hiring, right? So that's where we are. In terms of US and Europe, I think Europe has been strong footing for us for many quarters in the past. That's on the back of the investment that we made a few years back in Europe. We had identified Europe as a geography to invest into, and all of that I think is working well across sectors. And sorry.
Is that geographical mix change between America and Europe?
Because Europe is growing faster versus America, to that extent it's changing, but still US remains the largest sector for us, largest geography for us. Sorry, you had a third question.
Wage
Yeah, so we did a wage hike already. First wage hike, first part was that effective January. The second phase is already rolled out effective April 1st. The impact of that is already baked in the margin of this quarter. We had 100 basis points of impact on account of wage hike, as well as the higher variable pay that we paid to our employees this quarter. So that's already done. Having done the wage hike very recently, next one we'll have to decide when.
Thank you, Haripriya. Next question is from Beena Parmar from the Economic Times.
Hi, Salil. You mentioned about the revenue being stronger. Some of your peers have pointed out that there has been some revenue cannibalization that they are seeing. Are you also witnessing it, and are you seeing some productivity gains, benefits that you're passing on to your customers? And is that also leading to change in pricing? I think we spoke about it briefly, but has there been any change in the first quarter? And secondly, is that also impacting your margins? What were the factors that led to the margins? Because I think it has declined. So could you...
Let me start on the revenue one. I think we are seeing with AI a lot of productivity benefits. We also saw productivity benefits that we were already working on from automation and lean, which were coming through. Typically, all productivity benefits, a part of that is shared with clients and a part of that is shared with us. We see, if you look at the overall level, what Jayesh was sharing, we have seen our productivity of our revenue, the way our own pricing is working at a macro level, improving. And this is more because we are doing work which is creating more impact, in addition to the productivity, which is making some of that benefit being shared with clients. So these are two different factors, but on balance, we see an improvement into the quality of the revenue that we are seeing now.
So what kind of productivity gains you're passing on?
So there, we are not discussing the amounts we are passing on, but in terms of what we're seeing as a benefit, we are seeing between 5% and 15% through AI programs where we are working with clients where typically there are disparate systems. Internally, there are some things we've done which are slightly higher than that, but those on internal, like if you look at our Finacle product, it's one uniform sort of a code base in which we can get better productivity. And the
Thank
margin.
You. Yeah, and on the margin walk, if you the 20 basis points of decline, the puts and takes of that, 100 basis points of headwind came from compensation related factors in hike that we gave in April, as well as the higher variable pay that we pay to our employees or will pay to our employees for this quarter. 30 basis points was a headwind on account of currency, and 20 basis points for other factors. This was offset by 70 basis points of pricing benefit that we got, both seasonally as well as the benefit that Salil was talking about from productivity and everything that we've been doing under Project Maximus. 40 basis points came because of the acquisition-related impairment that we did in the last quarter. That was a one-off in the last quarter, so that was a benefit this quarter. And 20 basis points because our third-party cost was lower. So just to highlight, our 2.6% of growth was despite the fact that our third-party revenue and costs were lower by 60 basis points.